Hi, everyone. Hello. Welcome to our Yoga for Everybody session. My name is Skylar Ramirez. Today, we are going to do a lot of twisting poses and in twisting postures, those usually are going to work with deeply detoxifying the internal organs. So we're looking at detoxing the gut, the intestines, kidneys, adrenal glands, gallbladder, things of that nature. And in order to ready us for those twisting postures, we want to warm up some of the abdominal muscles. And we're going to do that with some breathing this morning. So let's begin with the practice of Bhastrika. For this particular breathing technique, you will take in one big inhale, hold it like 3 or 4 counts. Then you're going to force the exhale out rapidly with your stomach muscles. So it looks like this. Of course, we want to have a big exhale, empty the lungs as much as possible, then that one big inhale. And you're just going to hold it. 4, 3, 2, 1, then pull the navel in. Strong exhale. And the exhale might be so strong with your abdominal muscles and core that you actually feel that there's a little bit of a flexion, a movement in the spine as the belly muscles pull in. You'll have a little bit of a little jarring sensation in the gut. Now, in cases where we know that maybe we're dealing with a little bit of instability in your low back, or maybe even there is some question of bladder control here, that is something to address. So what you want to do first is exhale all the way, chin down, pull the muscles up in your pelvis, the same ones that provide bladder support. Then inhale, hold it, 3, 2, 1, then exhale. And then from there, you can release the muscles in your body, relax your pelvic floor, and take a couple inhalations. So it's a big inhale, pause, strong exhale, then at least 2 or 3 easy regular breaths. We're going to try that rhythm with at least 3 of these Bhastrikas, and this should take us probably just a couple minutes. So let's go ahead and come into any comfortable position, seated or lying down in a chair, on the floor, wherever your foundation feels secure. Exhale all the way, lower the chin. Now inhale from the belly through the ribs to the heart. Pause there, pull the muscles up in the pelvis, and now one strong exhale out the mouth. Relax. Easy inhale. Big exhale. Pause, pull the pelvic floor muscles up. Inhale. Pause. From the mouth, strong exhale. And now relax. Easy inhale. Big exhale. Pull the muscles up in the pelvis. Chin down. Inhaling, breath in. Pause at the top of the breath. 3, 2, 1, exhale from the throat. Now just relax the whole body wherever you are. If you're seated right now, I'm going to recommend that you go ahead and lie down on the floor. And let's begin with a standard supine warm-up for our bodies this morning. For our standard supine warm-up, we'll draw the knees in towards the chest, neutralizing the low back first. And maybe even rocking a little bit side to side, massaging along your low back and spine. From here, notice any spots that may be tender in the spine. If you're feeling any pain in your low back, push the knees just a little bit away from your belly. Maybe even stack the knees over the hips, and then add in that little rocking motion again. So sometimes the knees are too close, and that causes your low back to have some angular pressure in it. Pushing the knees away is going to be a little more neutral for the low back. Let's come to a still point with those knees no matter where we are. Go ahead and stretch your feet up towards the sky and point and flex those ankles a few times. Let's limber up the energy in the feet, the ankles, all the way to the calves. Unlocking energy behind the knees. You may even feel it going all the way down to the backs of your thighs, The more we straighten the legs, the more we're going to pucker up and strengthen the front of the leg. The more we straighten the legs, the more we'll stretch the back side of the legs, the hamstrings. Let's roll the ankles out so we're able to loosen up through the inner arches of the feet. From here, lower both knees down, both feet down. Let's inhale, take the arms up and overhead. Option to keep your elbows bent. That can protect your rotator cuff. From here, focus on your breath, breathing down into the belly, feeling the rise of your navel. And then exhale slow from the throat. Inhaling in through the nose. Exhale with the lips pursed like you're going to whistle. One more here, big breath in. Exhale. Let's inhale in place. Exhale, draw the left knee into the chest. Pull it in nice and tight with that long exhale. Release on the inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, right knee in. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, left knee in. Inhale. Continuing to alternate. Maybe let's try just one more on each side with those long, exaggerated exhales. Even this up on the left and right. Last one. Placing both feet down on the ground with the knees just a little more narrow than your actual fleshy hip. From here, let's press our palms down into the floor just outside our hips, pushing down into our feet as we lift our hips away from the floor, finding bridge pose. Exhale, lower the hips and take the arms overhead. Big stretch out from the armpits and the ribs. Inhaling, palms down, hips lifting up, really pushing down into your elbows, into the palms of the hands, using that press of the arms into the floor to get the ribs up a little more, using your glutes to lift the hips. Exhale, lower down, arms overhead. Let's flow that with the breath, maybe even closing the eyes. Every inhalation, lifting the hips, pushing the elbows and arms down into the ground. Exhale, lowering the hips, opening through your side ribs. Closing our eyes so that we're able to tune into our breath as the guide, creating that lovely choreography with the breath, syncing up the movement with each inhale, each exhale. The next time your hips are down, hold the hips down. Let's lower the arms down as well. From here, let's let those knees sway left and right. Match your breath to the movement. Inhale through center. Exhale, gentle twist over to one side. Try looking in the opposite direction. Inhaling, knees through center. Exhale, knees twist to the other side, turning our head, gazing in the opposite direction. Inhaling, center. Gaze in the opposite direction. Inhale, center. Exhale, gentle twist. One more time to each side. Let's bring our knees to neutral. Hug the knees to the chest just one more time. Let's reset that low back. When you're ready, bring the hands up on top of your kneecaps and push the knees away just a little bit. Let's use the hands on top of the kneecaps as a guide, bringing those knees into some very small clockwise circles. So keeping the knees away from the body is going to make this a much smaller range of motion, a smaller circle. So we're inviting that twisting or that churning energy mostly down into the hips and the pelvis, hopefully helping with healthy lymphatic drainage and preventing edema, fluid swelling. Let's reverse that circle, gently taking the knees around. And again, the knees are far away from your belly. When the knees are far away, the movement is much smaller and it's going to be isolated in your lower tummy, hip, and pelvis region. Let's let those knees circle counterclockwise just a couple more times. When you're ready, bring them to a still point. We can set our feet down. Let the knees roll over to one side. Let's come to our side lying position. Breathing into our low backs, middle backs, and upper backs. Let's give the spine time to maybe organize the breath and the energies around it. When you're ready, let's slowly press up, coming into all fours for cat and cow. Cat and cow can be done lying on your back if you feel it's more comfortable for you. It can also, so you can just do a hip hinge from your back, or you can sit up and do cat and cow from seated or even standing, even in a chair. From wherever you are, if you're in your foundation of all fours, drop your belly, pull the heart forward and open the throat, finding cow. As we exhale, let's pull the navel up, round the spine, and drop our heads for cat pose. Inhaling, spine extension. This is considered a back bend, and in yoga, back bends are considered the fountain of youth. They say we are only as healthy as our spines. Inhaling to lengthen, opening the throat. Exhaling to pull the stomach in and drop the head. Let's do maybe two more. And again, you could be seated. You could be lying on your back. This could be a pelvic tilt instead. No matter where you are with this, we're actively moving from the navel. There's movement in the ribs and the hips. Let's come to all fours position, creating more of a neutral or a flat back. Adding in that twisting element to the pose to fit our theme today. Let's lift our left hand up, big breath in. And as you exhale, weave it underneath your right armpit. So you're going to be between that right knee and wrist. Twisting in the opposite direction. We're bending that right elbow and maybe bring that left shoulder to the floor. Inhaling, pressing up to center. Both palms down. Flipping over the right hand, weaving it through. Exhale, lower down onto that right shoulder. Maybe hover above the floor a little. Inhale, bring it up to all fours. Exhaling, left hand goes under, switching sides. Inhaling up. Exhaling to the other side, gentle twist. Inhaling to center, exhaling to the other side, gentle twist. Just one more to each side, no matter where you are. This twist while we open the shoulders is possible to do from all fours or seated. You could even be lying on your back. From all fours position, let's take our time to slowly look forward, thinking about how we might want to make our way up to standing. We're stepping one foot forward at a time, bracing our arms and spine by having the hands on the thigh. We tuck our back toe and slowly come up. Maybe go ahead and hang out in a half part forward fold. Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Hands can go to your shins or thighs. Let's shake out our head, making sure that the neck is able to release some tension, and also feeling like the weight of the head just kind of hangs loose, alleviating tension at the base of your skull. When you're ready, deeply bend the knees. Let's walk our hands up onto the thighs and flatten our back. From here, slowly making our way up into standing. Let's take our feet out wide. You might want to step sideways out on your yoga mat, or maybe you just take a wide stance today wherever you are. Turn your toes out and heels in. As the knees bend, we see that the knees move in the same direction as our toes. Let's open up the arms with the elbows bent and knees bent. We're establishing a strong moonflower base. As we inhale, finding the next breath, let's straighten our legs and straighten the arms out, finding a big 5-pointed star expression. Option to lift your chin and maybe look up to where the wall meets the ceiling, or even angle the gaze straight up towards the sky. Big inhale into the center of the chest, opening up. And now exhale, bend the elbows, bend the knees, coming down into that moonflower squat. Let's flow this, every inhale rising up, finding your own inhalation, and then slow exhale, slowly coming down, drawing those elbows back behind our ribs. Inhale, rising up, big breath in, and then exhale down. Exhale from the throat, allowing the breath to move out from your body in any intuitive way. So maybe you're pursing the lips still, practicing that slow exhale as if you're going to blow bubbles. Or maybe you do that exhale where you're going to follow a mirror so that the mouth is a little more rounded and open. Option to close the eyes. We can always stay upright with the moonflower flow, or we can add in a forward fold with this. So you have the option to come down, push your hips back with a flat back, sweep the arms, and then inhale, rise it up. So you can stay with those elbows bent, or you can make them a little more fluid, elongating the spine as we lower down. From sunflowers, we can transition to moonflowers, and moonflower to sunflower. You can alternate these, staying upright, and then inhaling, hips back, flowing the arms. Any combination of movement that you feel is warming up your body, and at the same time maintaining a bit of comfort. Let's do maybe 2 or 3 more, whatever your body prefers, closing the eyes so that we can tune into our body sensations as our greatest guide and our greatest teacher. Meeting in our 5-pointed star expression, extending out through the fingertips, lowering the chin. Exhale all the way. Pull the muscles up in the pelvis, inhale big. And now one strong exhale, Bhastrika. Good, relax the arms. Let's walk our feet in. Having the feet at the width of the hips, establishing Tadasana, a strong mountain base. Web out your toes, open through the palms of the hands. Let's pull up through our thighs and imagine a yoga block between the knees, activating those inner thighs and the arches of the feet. Inhale, sweeping the hands back and around, big circle. Exhale, sweep it back, pull the palms through, sitting the hips back, coming into chair pose with a nice flat back. Inhale, taking the arms back and around, big breath in, reaching towards the sky. Exhale, arms back and around again. Palms are up, pulling through as the hips press back. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, big backstroke movement, palms up, shoulders are back and down. Closing the eyes. Once we've seen the movement a few times, closing our eyes and maybe moving with the imagery of the pose. Seeing it in the mind's eye so that we're creating a new blueprint for healthy movement in our bodies. Let's do one more. Inhale, rising up, extended mountain, keeping the arms reaching towards the sky. Let's turn the palms back behind us. You can have the elbows in front of your body or straighten the arms all the way up with the palms back. Let's squeeze the buttocks muscles so that we press slightly forward through the hips. Then lift the heels just a little bit, adding in that balanced challenge. Option to look up to where the wall meets the ceiling, or maybe really open that throat. Maybe look straight up towards the sky, up to the ceiling. Big inhale, reach, dropping the heels. Exhale, swan diving, hands to the thighs or shins, sending the hips back. Let's relax the head and the neck in our forward fold. Bending the knees deeply. Let's all walk our hands up to our thighs for a moment. And maybe reach across your right hand to the left forearm and then the left hand to the right forearm. So you have the arms kind of crisscrossed. And let's add in a gentle swaying twist here. From here, take the left elbow towards the outside of your left knee and bend that right knee a little bit. When you're ready, inhale to center. Both legs are bent just a little bit. Exhale, let's take the right elbow to the outside of the right knee and bend that left knee. So we're creating more of a twist through the spine. Inhale to center, let the head relax. Exhale, right knee bend, left elbow to the outside of the left knee. Inhale, center. Exhale, right elbow to the outside of the right knee, bend the left knee, hang the head loose. One more to each side. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist to the right. Left elbow to the outside of the left knee and bend the right. Inhale, center. Now twisting over to the right. Rounding out that twist on both sides. Bend the left knee. Inhale, coming to center. From here, let's place our hands on the shins or thighs. Straighten out the arms to prop up the spine. When you're ready, reverse swan dive. Sweep the arms all the way up, extended mountain. Let's bring our hands together at the heart. Stepping our left foot back, a very short stride. Let's bend our right knee, finding a casual warrior one stance. From here, keeping your left hand at the heart. You maybe want to flatten the palm to your chest. Take your right hand forward. Lift it up and circle it around, twisting towards the right as you circle that right arm. Inhale, reaching forward as if you're going to shake someone's hand, then lifting up on the inhale. Exhale, twist it back and around. Coming forward, inhale to shake hands. Reach up and then exhale back and around. One more, big breath in. Exhale back and around. Inhale, hold that arm straight up and overhead. Let's exhale and pat ourselves on the back, bringing the left hand to the low back. We're creating a little bit of a twist here with our cow's face arms. Press back and down into the left heel while that right knee stays bent. Lunging forward, pulling our shoulders back over our hips. Let's add in a gentle twist here today with cow's face. Pulling up and out of that right armpit. Imagine you're twisting towards the right, swiveling just at the waist. Continue to push down into that left heel. That way you're anchored back and down through that left hip. Just a little bit of a swivel and twist at the waist. And then that right shoulder and elbow go back, looking over to the right, maybe looking just past your right armpit. From here, let's come to center. Taking the right hand to the low back, straightening out our right leg for chest expansion. Inhaling big into the center of the chest, big breath into the heart. And then big exhale, exaggerate that. Two more, big breath in. Exaggerate the exhale. One more. Now big inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, swan dive, take it out and place the hands on your right thigh. Unlock the knees, unlock the hips. Let the hips press back behind you with the knees soft. Inhale, lengthening your heart and ribs over that right leg. On the exhale, let's allow the breath to gently fold the body down into pyramid, Parsvanottanasana. From here, you may want to keep the hands on the thighs to support the spine. The hands can come down to the ground if that is a comfortable reach without strain on your back. Let's all hang the head loose so that we have the crown of the head lengthening towards your right foot. Making sure that the chin is in and down, absolutely no tension in the back of your neck. So we're trying to let the weight of the head hang like a rag doll. Let's practice and exaggerate 3 exhales here. Inhale big in through the nose, and then exhale with a sigh. Moving the jaw around, we want to loosen the low back and hips with that sigh. Just one more. To safely come out of this, let's walk our hands up to our shin and then to our thigh. Establish a flat back, and now slowly come all the way up. From this safe standing position, we can step forward to establish a strong mountain stance. Let's fly the arms 3 times just to kind of center the body, closing the eyes. Inhale up. Exhale back and around with those big circle sweeps. Opening up the body to receive a nice big breath. Exhale, getting rid of any stagnant energy, any tension that might be blocking us from being more productive. Let it go with that exhale. Let's bring our hands together at the heart, stepping our right foot back this time for warrior 1. We're lunging forward, bending that left knee. Let's place our right hand over the heart, or just keep that hand at the chest. Bring the left arm forward as if you're going to shake someone's hand. Inhale, reach it up. Twist to the left, looking behind you as the chest and the heart opens. Exhale down, coming to center. Inhale, circle it back, twisting at the waist. You might feel some movement in the hips, just a little bit. Most of that swivel is at the waist, the ribs, the shoulders, neck, and head. Finding as much stillness and stability in the hips as possible. Let's circle one more time. Big inhale in that twist. And down. Inhale, take that left arm straight up. Big breath in and reach. Keeping a bend in that left knee. From here, we pat ourselves on the back with the left hand. Taking the right hand behind us to the low back. We might walk our hands up so that the fingertips touch behind us in cow space. Or keep your arms open and the hands separated for comfort. From wherever you are, close the eyes, lower the chin, and start to feel an energy in that back right heel that pulls you down and back slightly, keeping our shoulders stacked over our hips. Breathing into the upper left lung. When you're ready, turning this into a little bit of a twist, we're swiveling at the waist towards the left, drawing that left elbow back, pressing the right shoulder forward a little bit. The breath is going to become pretty light, pretty shallow in this big twist. Just notice, where is there space for that breath to move in your body? It could be in the front left of your chest or shoulder. It could be under your right shoulder blade. One more big inhale. And now exhale, bring it to center. Let's lower that left hand to the low back, straightening out that left leg as we practice some big expanding breaths with chest expansion. Chin can stay down to begin. Inhale into the center of the chest, exaggerate the lift of the heart, pull the shoulders back, open up the throat. And then exhale, let it all go. Big inhale, expanding breath, pull the shoulders back, exhale. One more, inhalation, lift and pull back, and then exhale. Inhale, slowly release those hands. Let's bring them up and overhead. Keeping the legs fairly straight, but unlocking the knees. As we exhale, let's swan dive, pressing our hips back, hands to the thighs, lengthening our heart and ribs out over that left leg. On the next long exhale, we can allow that body to drape over the leg, hanging the head nice and loose, maybe letting the hands come down towards the floor. Exaggerating the exhale in this position, sinking breath. Let's inhale as big as the body will allow us to breathe in. Big inhale, and then exaggerate the exhale. Easy breath in. Just one more big inhale. When you're ready, slowly bring the hands to your shins and then up to the thigh. Let's flatten our back, making sure the blood pressure is happy, spine is safe. Walking our hands up, finding that we feel safe and secure. We can step forward, shake off the legs and the feet, establish your strong mountain stance. Let's gather the breath 3 times to center ourselves. Inhale up, closing the eyes, allowing the body to focus on the breath, and then from the breath, awareness can shift to the body. Does this feel easier on the inhale, or does it feel easier on the exhale? There's no right or wrong to that. It's just the art of awareness. Let's meet in mountain pose, lengthening through the crown of the head, moving into our standing balancing posture for today, standing figure 4 pose. If you have a chair nearby or a wall nearby, I highly recommend it for this stretch. From here, I am standing on my right leg first. I have the wall here with my right hand for support. Let's start with a soft bend in the knees, and the toes are touching. From here, we can lift our left toe and turn it out to the side. So from here, basically it's looking like tree pose to begin. It's looking like this adapted, very casual expression of tree. I'm resting my left heel on the inside of the right ankle with my left knee bent out to the side. We may hold it here. Tree is a foundation for the standing pigeon pose or standing figure 4 we're going into. So you can hold it here, or maybe slide the foot up onto the inside of the leg below the knee. Option to slide that foot up to the inside of the thigh above the knee. And continuing to build on this pose, maybe if we have the leg up high, maybe we cross the ankle over the top of the right thigh. From here, we would bend that right knee and push our hips back, just like chair pose, keeping that left foot or whatever foot you have crossed over, keep that foot flat. We want it to stay flexed. If we point the toe, there's a greater risk of twisting your kneecap. So we want to flatten that foot, hopefully isolating that twist or that rotation just in your outer hip. You might feel this in both hips. This is a big stretch for the crossed over leg. This is a lot of stabilization and strength, even working with weight bearing for bone density in that standing leg. You can keep your hand on that means of support, or maybe test the waters a little bit, bringing the hands together at the heart as we continue to sit back in our standing pigeon, also known as a standing figure 4. Remember to keep the breath nice and strong. Big exhale, big inhale. 2 more. Let's take our time to slowly release the hands, step both feet to the floor. Let's give our body an opportunity to feel fully supported by the earth. When we want to do the other side, go ahead and reposition yourself, finding some support. That outside leg, the heel is lifting and the knee opens out, toes open out to the side, resting that right heel to the inside of the left ankle. Holding here in a supported tree expression, maybe sliding that foot up onto the leg, anywhere above or below the knee, avoiding any pressure on the knee with that foot. We may want to hold it here in tree, even practicing hands to the heart. Option to cross that right ankle over the top of your left thigh, keeping the foot flat, standing tall. From here, finding the breath, using that exhale to sink the hips back, flat back, just like chair pose. Notice if you're holding any tension in your hips or pelvis, and try to flip those hips back, feeling almost a spread through the low back and the buttocks region. We want that to open through the anal sphincter region. No pressure in the pelvis here. Hands might come to the heart, focusing on those exaggerated exhales, and then exaggerate the inhale into your chest. Expanding breath as you inhale, and then exhale, sinking breath. 2 more. Inhale, big into the chest. Open up the heart, open the shoulders. Exhale, decompress, last time through. To safely come out. Let's keep our balance as we release our hands and feet, finding a foundation that steadies the body. Establishing just a nice strong stance. Notice if at this point you want to grab a little bit of water, or if you feel like you need to move a little more standing before we come down onto the floor. Give yourself an opportunity to get situated. Let's eventually come down into a seated position. So we did that standing balancing pose. We're going to experiment with that from seated and lying on our backs as well, experimenting with that energy and then adding in a little bit of a twist too. From seated, you might want to elevate the hips. Sitting on a blanket is a great way to improve the length in your spine, which can improve mobility in the spine. So from wherever you are, hips may be elevated a little bit. Let's extend our left leg out straight and then cross that right leg over. So my right foot is on the outside of my left thigh. Let's lift up our right toes so that it's just your right heel. At this point, the foot is flat. This is the position we want to protect the knee. From here, start to lift your leg up. So if you want, you can take your left hand and you can put it underneath your ankle. You can take your right hand and wrap it around on the outside of your right knee or thigh, put it underneath. Lift up that right ankle with your left hand, and you can hold it right here. So already we're in the figure 4. If you want to rest it, place that ankle on top of your thigh and then open that knee out to the side for seated figure 4. Alternatively, you could also take your hands back and you can lean back a little bit while you work with that hip stretch from a seated position. Some of you are pretty familiar with this pose. You've been doing yoga a while. This may be something that we've done together in class. If you know that there's another variation you'd like to try, go ahead and change the position. Now, if you're still getting familiar with the pose and you're just kind of curious about different stretches, we could try a couple more things. Step 1, we can draw that left knee in, that left foot in, bend the left leg. Now, the closer that leg comes in, chances are the more it's going to intensify your stretch. If you're still looking for a little more sensation, add in a gentle twist to this. To add in that twist, start turning towards the right, maybe slide that right hand back behind you, and you could always take your left arm across. So it's a little bit of a figure 4 with a cradle the baby with a little bit of a twist. Continuing to lengthen through the spine no matter where you are with this. Breathe into the upper right part of your shoulder. Breathe into the space under the left shoulder blade. Keeping the breath in the upper part of the lungs. One more inhale. When you're ready to come out, slowly let's release the twist first. Maybe both hands to the floor for support, sliding out that left leg, and then uncrossing the right, finding seated staff. Let's reach forward with both hands towards our feet and just relax your upper back and head. Neutralizing the spine, allowing any energies that may have unblocked to just move around and organize themselves before we twist again. On the next inhale, slowly come up. Let's keep that right leg extended out with the foot flat, drawing our left knee in, crossing the left foot over so that left heel is on the outside of your right leg. Let's lift our right toes up, having a flat foot. Taking the right hand under that left ankle, and maybe take the left hand around your left thigh and knee and lift the leg. Step one. Option to hold it here or come forward and set your left ankle on top of the right thigh. Holding it here, we might most certainly start to feel something in the hip. If we're looking to continue to layer different expressions onto the pose, take your hands back for support. Pull that right heel in, bending the right knee. It's going to bring the left leg closer to the chest, creating a bigger stretch in the hip. We can hold it right here, or we can begin to add in that gentle twist towards the left. Repositioning your left hand, taking the right hand up. You can take it around your knee and continue to twist. Breathing, this time it's into the upper left chest. And then the breath is under the right shoulder blade. Thinking about the breath first, before the body. The breath is the foundation. That is what creates the practice. One more inhale. Let's slowly release any tension in the arms first. Support the spine. Slide that right leg out. Let's lengthen and find neutral spine and cross the legs for seated staff. Shake out your knees. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, swan dive, reaching towards your feet and toes. Let the head and upper back round softly. Find the breath under your shoulder blades and on the sides of the spine. Let's keep the head down while we slowly bring ourselves up to seated in our tall staff foundation pose. From here, let's take our time to come down onto the floor, bending our knees. We roll onto one side and just hold it there for a breath or two. Always adding in that pause as much as we can be mindful of it as we go from seated to lying down or lying down to seated. Adding in that moment of stillness on our side so that our blood pressure can stabilize. When you're ready, roll onto your back. Supine position. Finding that same stretch that we did standing, seated, now finding it lying on the floor and adding in a little twist. Let's bring our right knee in with the foot flat. Turning that right knee out to the side. We might place the right ankle on top of that left thigh. You can hold it right here if that feels good for you. If you're looking for a variation on this, walk your left foot to the right edge of your mat and then slowly begin to twist, placing your right foot down near the floor. Opening up our heart towards the ceiling as we hold in this expression of the twist. Maybe even taking the arms out with the palms up. Steady your gaze. Maybe close the eyes, allowing that steady gaze to move from within. from the mind's eye, projecting that gaze out from the mind space, moving the imagery up to the third eye. To safely come out of this pose, let's slowly begin to find our footing. Maybe uncross that right leg and use the feet to guide your spine and hips to neutral. Bringing our left knee in, flattening the foot, opening that left knee to the side. We're resting the left ankle on top of the right thigh. Let's walk our right foot just a little bit towards that left hip or towards the left edge of your mat. When you're ready, slowly moving into the twist, pressing our left foot down into the floor. Palms out and up. Breath is soft in the body. If you feel like you can't get a good inhale, focus more on the exhale. We want to open up that space in the body to receive the breath. To safely come out of this twist, we may want to release that top foot and stack the knees. Use the feet to bring the spine and body to neutral. Let's bring the knees in. Take the legs straight up to the sky, flat feet. Take the feet out wide into a straddle. Maybe put the hands on the sides of your legs to support the leg bones. Softening through the hips and the tailbone. From where you are, start to bend the knees in towards your armpits, finding happy baby pose. You're welcome to keep the hands wrapped around the backs of the thighs or experiment with reaching up, taking your peace fingers between your big toe and second toe, wrap it around, then cap the thumb over the top of your toe so that your thumb moves over the big toe and it touches the large knuckle in your index finger. Peace fingers go between the big toe and second toe, wrapping around. Thumb caps over the top of the big toe, touching the large knuckle in your index finger. This is considered a yogi bind. This is a way to hold on to your toes without possibly pulling any delicate tissues in the feet. From here, we can add in a little sway side to side. As we sway, we're creating that bit of twist through the hips and the trunk of the body. You're welcome to even cross the legs over, making your happy baby sway a pretty big twist. As you sway over to the left, cross the right leg over your left arm. Maybe let your left knee touch the floor. As you sway to the right, let that left leg cross over the right hand, and maybe let the right knee touch the floor. Let's try it just a couple more times, swaying and moving in any way that you want to act on. Just give in to any little impulse to move with your body in the moment. Eventually, let your body find a still point so that you can release, establish comfort for final relaxation and meditation. Remember, if your body still wants to move, you may need to move a little more in order to get any of that anxious energy out of the way. That way we're able to meditate. Once you find that foundation for meditation, let's place our hands on the belly, monitoring the breath. start to sense the presence of an energy between your navel and spine. It's a gold orb of light. This energy is represented by fire and heat. It's known as Manipura. Manipura. It's a fire in the gut. This is an energy that is used as a catalyst for transformation, helping with ambition and perseverance. This fire is also used, much like an incinerator. It's to burn off the trash. That way, as we inhale and as we eat, we're able to adequately work with rejuvenating and restoring those energetic reservoirs. We want to bring in that fresh breath and bring in the good food into a space that has been cleansed, ready to process and metabolize the nutrients and the fresh oxygen. Pause after you exhale and maybe sense that there's like a little scrubbing action with that gold light in your gut. Start to sense an energy that kind of just scrubs left and right. Maybe you sense the presence of that energy as more like an orb of a light, an energy that's like a bubble. Think of it as like scrubbing bubbles, the cleaner. You're going to inhale, exhale, pause, sensing an energy, being aware of the space between your navel and spine, and maybe just try to move that energy left and right. And you might quite literally access the muscles in that space and feel them slightly shifting left and right. Energetically, this is known as Nauli. This is a kriya. This is a cleansing technique that can be experienced on an energetic level, or you can really feel it. You can feel the muscles start to activate left and right. Exhale all the way, pause, Nauli. Just in that pause, start to shift your stomach left and right behind the belly button. Eventually relax, inhale and exhale. One more. After this next exhale, pause, sense that energy in your gut shifting left and right, just a gentle expression of Nauli. And now relax and let the belly be still. Let's breathe easy. Absolutely no rush with the breath. Start to create a little more space after your exhale. Maybe be keeping the breath just in the belly. As we notice the lower lungs filling with the breath, just stopping when we maybe feel that breath move 2 inches above your belly button, just 2 inches higher than the belly button. Pause, feeling for the fullness of the breath pressing against your side ribs and your low back. And then exhaling, slow exhale, pause, longer pauses. Shallow inhale into the belly, pausing 2 inches above your navel. Long exhale. Pause, embracing stillness. Having found the breath in the body and having found that core energy of Manipura, manipulated by Nauli, let's awaken the body a little bit. Big breath in, and then big exhale. Exaggerated inhale, exhale to wake up our physical awareness. If you know that you can maybe lay here a little longer, please stay. For those of you who maybe are on a schedule today, we have reached the end of our practice for today. It's been about an hour, so you might want to wiggle your fingers and toes. Maybe we bend one knee at a time and let the knees sway a little bit to loosen our back. Depending on where you've been in relaxation the past few minutes, you may want to let those knees twist a little deeper. You may want to hug the knees to the chest. You could even stretch out like a stick. Let your breath be your guide. Listen to your body. If you're coming to seated, bend the knees first and then roll over onto one side. Let's wait here a breath or two. Awareness in the spine, awareness in the low back, awareness behind your heart. Slowly pressing up to seated, we can bring our hands together at the heart, meeting in Anjali Mudra, our seal of reverence. Keeping the breath in the belly and the low back. From here, we could breathe in together a few easy unifying breaths. Tying into each other's energies. I thank you so much for joining me today. From here, we can close together with a bow. Namaste, everyone. Have a beautiful day. I will see you all next week.